If there's any arm of the public service that's done more to lose public trust in the past few years, it's been the police. And look, I'm not criticising every cop. I feel sorry for the dedicated, hard-working cops out there that have been forced to work under the current leadership, as in the Western world, you'd be hard-pressed to find a larger, more politically compromised police force than the New South Wales Police. Headed by a man who takes out the bins for Scott Morrison both metaphorically and literally. Not only that, it seems New South Wales Police Minister David Elliott supposedly has so much control over Commissioner Mick Fuller, he has gotten away with numerous clear-cut crimes that would land any normal people in jail. New South Wales Police Minister David Elliott has done everything from using illegal machine guns to impersonating cops, but apparently that behaviour doesn't even warrant a charge from the police force run by Scott Morrison's bin man. It would appear that cops have been too busy locking up people in Western Sydney for going out on a walk or daring to talk to David Elliott to focus on actual crimes. But whilst everyone's getting angry at the militarised, overhanded police presence in Western Sydney, I say, spare a thought for the cops who are getting so tired of COVID restrictions, so hungry for overseas travel, for adventure. They've decided to bring a bit of the foreign, a bit of the exotic, a bit of Pinochet's Chile, Kim Jong-un's North Korea, or Suharto's Indonesia to Australia. Because the same cops that completely bungled the wrongful arrest of my employee Christo are now having the legal equivalent of a tantrum. Just to show you what a tantrum from the cops looks like, here's a reminder.
I tripped over you. No, I didn't.
COVID environment.
That's all.
What's the legal equivalent, you may ask? Well, because I've been covering the arrest and trial of my employee Christo, the same police force that didn't do anything when the police minister impersonated a cop, fired an illegal machine gun, have attempted to throw me in jail for videos. Ooh! A taste of China without leaving the city. They've been desperate to shut down my coverage of the matter. First, they played some very questionably ethical legal shenanigans, hinting that they were going to serve me for something for weeks, but never serving. Then, at Christo's hearing, springing up with a childishly written application for the court to find me in contempt, whilst I wasn't there. Now, this was a transparent move to deprive me of representation in a hearing almost entirely about me. A motion ex parte, something usually only reserved for the most urgent matters. The cops were arguing that they had to urgently remove my videos about a local court matter, essentially because the video made jokes about cops. Luckily, the magistrate didn't buy the urgency argument, seeing as the video had been up for weeks, and also, surprisingly, the magistrate understood that it isn't contempt of court to opine that a certain cop is a grossly incompetent, stupid, violent, aggressive donut addict. Hey! I'm not gross! But that was just a small part of the fixated person unit's ongoing stay-at-home North Korean holiday experience. Realising that they handily lost the round, they got to work crafting a document. A document which I can only describe as pure genius. A document where they list their own address as New South Wales Police Headquarters, Charles Street, Parramatta. No wonder they sympathise with John's lawyers so much, who seem to have the exact same problem of figuring out location names. I'm so glad these are the same people tasked with catching terrorists. But what is this document? It's a suppression order for a local court matter. After failing to put me in jail for making videos, the true detectives of the Fixated Persons Unit are attempting to remove videos of Christo's arrest because they're completely and utterly embarrassed by their own behaviour. Not only that, but they're trying to put a gag order on me to make it illegal for me to cover the trial. Almost every lawyer I've spoken to thinks this order is unprecedented in both its stupidity and its authoritarian nature. It's honestly like the Fixated Persons Unit is made up entirely of Herc from The Wire. What the f*** you say about me? Let's go bang f***ing heads together, the Fixated Persons Unit way. Actually, that's a bit of a harsh comparison. Herc was at least semi-literate. Let's read some of the Terror Police's clearly thought out and articulated demands. The applicant is seeking removal from social media and all digital platforms under the control of the respondent and his associated YouTube channel. Friendly Geordies, all material associated with the proceedings of Krista Lanka, which are listed for hearing in May 2022 at the Downing Centre Local Court. Well, that should be no problem because I don't have that fragrance from Chanel. Utube by Chanel. They called it Chanel 5 times. They didn't even spell it right once. I usually think attacking spelling is a cheap shot, but that's dumb. Also, I've got more great news for you, Matthew Wise, the cop seeking the orders. I don't know a Krista Lanka, let alone have made videos about the court proceedings of a Krista Lanka. So already, your order's fulfilled. What else do they want? The applicant seeks that a non-publication order in relation to any material from the brief of evidence or commenting about the nature of the evidence, the strength or weakness of the case, and the making of comments adverse or otherwise in relation to any prosecution witness in the proceedings against Mr. Lanka. Damn, that's so weird. If the case is strong enough for the cops to spend all this time and money going ahead with, why would the cops attempt to ban comments on the strength or weakness of the case? But again, don't worry, Maddie. I agree to your demands. I'm not going to comment on the strength or weakness of the case. Because there is no f***ing case. It's not even a weak case. There's no case, period. How can there be a case if there's no crime? And I know you know there's no case. All of the unit do. That's the exact reason you're trying to stop people from commenting with a f***ing suppression order in the local court. Suppression orders fail on matters regarding national security, yet you're trying one out on this shit. You wouldn't be doing this shit if everyone was commenting, "Oh yeah, hero cops, that was really brave when you smashed Christo's mum to the ground." For some reason, you can't bring yourselves to do the right thing and just admit you f***ed up and arrested Christo without any cause evidence or plan. Did you even have a warrant? It appears you're still going ahead with this extremely expensive charade purely to appease the ego of a man so sensitive he reacts like this when asked. Did you do something you clearly did?
I've said absolutely not. And again, for you to even be asking that question is an indictment on your level of journalism.
Or are you doing it to cover your own asses? What else do these Sherlock Holmes want? The court to order the respondent not to directly or indirectly publish, disseminate, produce, air any material in relation to court proceedings against Mr. Lanka until that court matter is finalised. Again, very easy. I'll agree to another one of your demands. I won't disseminate any material. In fact, I'll never disseminate any material ever again. Jokes aside though, this is where the application gets incredibly sinister. The applicant is only seeking removal of material that is directly under the control of the respondent on all social media platforms. Oh, okay. So everyone else can talk about Christo's arrest, but not me. Matthew, I've got to congratulate you on your great work. You've really disproven my criticism that you so heavily object to, that the Fixated Persons Unit is a politically motivated Stasi designed to gag criticism of the government and bureaucracy. And to disprove that criticism, all you had to do was use the Fixated Persons Unit as a politically motivated Stasi to gag my criticisms of the Fixated Persons Unit. You are an incredibly intelligent bunch of people, and I'm honoured that my taxes go to pay your wages, and I'm sure the majority of Aussies agree with me. Now that we've seen what Strikeforce Meatball want, let's see the grounds they provided as to why the court should grant it. Oh, what a surprise! It's just a bunch of whinging. The respondent, in conjunction with an associate, Lanka, have held a negative agenda against the complainant, Mr. John Barilaro, the Deputy Premier of New South Wales. Former now. Bet that's got you guys sweating. Is it even in our charter? Can we act on behalf of people who aren't in massive positions of power? Also, John, am I still getting that promotion? John! David! Someone! They have created and aired numerous videos that are de rigueur terrori in relation to the complainant's political position and his ethnicity. Ah, yes, a negative agenda. I forgot that was on the Crimes Act. I look forward to McQueen's hasty arrest of AFR columnist Joe Aston for the very mean articles he's written regarding Barilaro, such as John Barilaro makes the political Z grade, New South Wales will be just fine without John Barilaro. But really, the whole grounds for the application the cops give isn't about the case at all. It's just whinging that I dared talk about the police. Here are some highlights. Shanks states he feels a public duty to name the police he says is stalking him and refers to Detective Sergeant McQueen as a careerist cowboy in the police. Well, that's Diararoga Terrori. What the f***'s a careerist? Also, cowboy, I quicked him out of unit. The horsey scared me. Shanks accuses McQueen of assaulting Lanka, demanding he should be sacked and prosecuted. Shanks states that McQueen is not fit to be a police officer. Shanks asserts that the FPU has prioritised their careers over public safety. I'm allowed to assert this shit. Especially because as far as I'm aware, McQueen and the rest of the gang haven't faced any punishment for clearly violating the rules, not so much as a, I don't want to hear it, McQueen, That trip of yours is against regulations. In this department, we go by the book. By book. If you think Christo and I are taking the politically motivated intimidation lying down, you're even dumber than your kindergarten spelling suggests. To quote Sting, I'm going to expose every last lie you tell, every mistake you make, every trip you fake. I would suggest that the best course of action for people as stupid as you guys would be to stop pulling this shit. Because in the end, you just keep proving my arguments true beyond a shadow of a doubt. And also, you give me more opportunities to laugh at your illiteracy. This is the utter contempt the fixated persons unit holds for you, the public. They have a violent, incompetent, and from what I can gather, a seriously mentally unstable senior police officer running rogue and assaulting people. And instead of disciplining the cop, they are defecating on every mainstream value Australians hold in order to shut down public interest criticism. The New South Wales Police under David Elliott and Mick Fuller's leadership have turned into a Praetorian Guard that protects not even any Liberal, literally just David Elliott and his factional allies. But we're not going to let them get away with this. They've completely shown their hand. We know that all they care about is protecting the powerful in their own, and they hate sunlight, which is very funny because due to this arrest, I've heard some pretty interesting stories about you guys. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Matthew McQueen, and especially the odd couple, Mick Fuller and David Elliott. And if anyone in the audience has any more stories, feel free to email me because the cops can't suppress public interest journalism. In this video, I'll say something the cops have no chance of shutting up. If you believe Matthew McQueen shouldn't be working on the case against Christo, let alone still have a badge, use your constitutional right to demand that the New South Wales Police #FireMcQueen. The hearing is at 9:30 a.m. this Wednesday the 13th at the Downing Centre in Sydney. Let's see if sanity prevails or the cops succeed in making it illegal for me to open my mouth. #FireMcQueen.
Please share and comment below. Comment.